Yeah.
OnlyFans reverses their decision to ban adult content. So if you watch the last Wayne show, we talked about it extensively. OnlyFans was like, no more porn is allowed on OnlyFans. Some lewd content is going to be allowed. We'll tell you more about it later. And then just
Yeah.
like kind of dropped the whole conversation and has now come back and said, psych, never mind, everything's fine. Um, this change is coming, yeah, less than a week after their initial announcement that they were planning to end adult hosted content. Not all of it, but yeah. They've now secured assurances necessary to support our diverse creator community and have suspended the planned October 1 policy change. They're now preaching inclusion and saying they will provide a home for all creators. I'm sure this comes off the back of probably a lot of creators jumping ship. Um,
Yeah, a little bit.
Considering the porn industry is worth billions of dollars, estimates say 6 to 97 billion. What?
That's a big range.
That's a massive range. There's clearly someone out there willing to pocket transaction fees. Yeah, of course.
Of course there is.
Um,
I mean, this is something that we know from research that we've done on this topic. Like, I mean, Luke, you've looked into alternate payment processing platforms before.
yeah,
I'm going to say alternate. I mean, ones that are willing to process your payments, sort of regardless of what type of content you have on your site. Can you talk a little bit about what that looks like?
they're really expensive. And they always have been really expensive because they kind of know they're in a weird spot because they seem to understand that if you are talking to them, you have to be talking to them. Um,
Right.
and it's I don't know how many market segments are like that where like you're the not as good product, but you know that because you're the not as good product, if someone is talking to you, they don't have the option of using the better product, so you can actually charge them more. Um,
Right.
I
What
don't think
makes the
that's
payment
super common.
processor not as good though? Like, help me out here.
User experience can be pretty bad. The support on the back end, the developer friendliness of it, compliance with different browser things. There's a lot that can be very annoying. Um,
So you gloss over that stuff,
yeah,
but that's really interesting stuff that I think the average person would not know about. So just so
yeah,
you guys,
and the average person basically never has to run into it because pretty much the whole internet doesn't run on those types of payment processors. Most payment processors that people use are from a very small grouping of payment processors that are very clean. You generally only deal with like Amazon payments, Google payments, Apple payments. Shopify is actually really massive. Um, Stripe and PayPal, or PayPal trading as Braintree. Um, and there isn't like a ton outside of that. There's some Xsolla stuff if you did Twitch back in the day, and there was problems with that, and that's part of the reason why that's being phased out, as far as I can tell, and some other things. But like, it's really annoying for everyone involved if the payment process is not basically perfect.
right.
So if it's not pretty much perfect, people don't want to use it, and they're going to file down into these major payment processors.
We've got people in the float plane chat that are talking about crappy payment processors and just the bad experiences they've had with them. So Mills Jonas
Yep.
says, I've had experiences with payment processors just not registering that I canceled a subscription and then
Hmm.
I had to fight for a refund. Um, let's see here. Pan Beach says implementation bugs, poorly documented API. Happy Roll Cake says Epoch apparently wouldn't remove their card details from their server.
Apparently, Shopify Payments is built on Stripe, so that's even more of like, yeah, like why deal with difficult things? A lot of consolidation has happened in the payment space over the years.
Right, that makes sense. And to be clear, I personally do not believe that this move was ever anything to do with OnlyFans not having any way to process payments. I mean, the porn
No,
industry has been around as long as the internet has existed. I mean, I
before
wonder
then.
if there's actually like a historical sort of a record of this, like first nude picture on the internet.
That was probably really early, I'm suspecting.
There's got to be. There's got to be. What is this? What is this useless page here? What am I looking at? Okay. brief history of
While
nude
while you look for
photography.
that, I just something we're actually quite happy about is that we decided not to pursue creating an alternative because psych, probably most people that are on there are going to stay. I do think a very significant amount of people have probably left, and just as someone who kind of used to be, I guess, a creator to other potential creators, I would highly recommend diversifying your platforms. Hopefully this was enough of a like kick in the butt to get you to do that.
Yep.
But even if you're still on that platform and you're like, oh, poof, my like livelihood isn't being ripped out from under me, that's great, and I'm happy for you about that. But you should also definitely diversify your platforms. I don't have an offering for you, so this is not even self-pandering, but you should still do it. Try to find somewhere else that you can set up shop as well. Even if you're just mirroring your uploads on both platforms, whatever, having a base somewhere is very valuable.
Yep. So, I mean, really, it appears that it had everything to do with raising funds and taking on investors. The thing is that OnlyFans appeared to have overplayed their hand a little bit. It seems like more than Luke and I anticipated, there must be safe for work content on OnlyFans. It's just that maybe what they felt was that the safe for work content had this momentum that would carry them through this transition. But maybe what they didn't realize was that the only reason safe for work content creators were surviving on the platform was that so many users were being driven to it by not safe for work content. Because once you're in the habit of using a platform, it's, I mean, how do I put this? There's only so many hours a day that you could comfortably, you know, enjoy pornography. I think. I think. Okay, look, don't quote me on this. I actually really would prefer not to be quoted on this. But then, at some point you'll be done, so to speak.
Someone
And
watching was just like challenge accepted.
at some point you'll be done and you'll like want to do something else. And if OnlyFans played their cards right, they could easily entice you to go do something safe for work at the same time. So it seems like they misinterpreted that momentum in safe for work content as sort of a change in their identity as a platform. But what it actually was is just a break, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I think if they're smart, they will just keep making their ludicrous amounts of money, $600 million a year or whatever, not bother taking on investors, buy mega yachts for all of their founders because that's the kind of freaking money that they're making right now, and just chillax with the whole investor thing, or create a sister site, I mean,
Yeah.
that was the way that we were planning to address adult content, so there's no reason they couldn't do the same
Do it in
thing.
reverse.
Yeah,
And
just
you
do it
could
in
use
reverse.
your adult content platform to get that sister site off the ground. 100%.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Instead of driving people to like a creator on OnlyFans that's safe for work, you could drive a creator to this sister site. I mean, since OnlyFans, most of the interactions, remember we started one recently, most of the interactions are done through the website, like just the mobile browser rather than an app because of just prudish app store policies. So nothing would prevent you from just having that link open in on a completely different site. You could probably even maintain login credentials, Luke. Is that something you could do from a user privacy, user security
I
terms of
think there's some
use?
issues there.
There's
Yeah.
probably some
I'm not
issues there.
100% certain, but I'm pretty sure there's some issues there because you have different agreements on both sites.
Oh, that's yeah, that makes sense.